gospel, you probably never thought you would hear from a man of the church. That the Lord wants married couples to have great sex, to have it often, and even experiment in the bedroom. And that's what the pastor of Seattle's Mars Hill megachurch, Mark Driscoll, and his wife Grace claim in a book that's being called the most provocative work ever, written by an evangelical. It is called Real Marriage, the Truth About Sex, Friends, and so forth. And you may, if you have young kids, you may want them to go into the other room now. We'll give you a second or two. Bye, kids. Because in this book, you talk openly, and we'll talk about it later, about oral sex and masturbation, which is what has some people talking that is coming from a pastor. But you also talk about your own life. You've been married 20 years. But you write in the beginning that you had sexual problems. Tell us what, and you tell what they are and how you fix them. So you're holding hands very tightly, so I guess it's okay now. But in the book, what were the problems? How'd you fix them?
Well, we started out with a lot of things wrong in our marriage, and so we needed to discuss more honestly the things from our past. And I had suffered from sexual assault and various issues in my past, and because we weren't aware of those in our marriage, it made it very difficult to have an honest marriage.
Did you agree about sex?
Yeah, we did when we got married, and I think we started as close friends, and then as the work and the duties of life come in, the friendship started to wane, and I think that affects all levels of intimacy.
But I read the book, and one of the things you say is that you thought of sex as God, and Grace, you thought of sex as gross.
Yeah, we talk in the book that some people see sex as God. It's way too important to them, almost obsessive. For those that are overly religious or perhaps come from an abusive background, they tend to see it as very gross. Our view is that it's a gift. It's a gift that God gives us to enjoy and to steward well. And so it took some time for us to come to mutual agreement on that and to work that out.
In the book you say it's a gift, and you really think people should be having a lot of fun with sex, but not everybody but homosexuals. What have you got against them having fun?
Yeah, well, we are Bible-believing Christians, and so we do hold to the teaching of Scripture, and that is that sex is reserved for a married couple, heterosexual married couple. So even when we were dating and we were sexually active, we were wrong. And so we don't want to say we're better or holier than anyone, but we were wrong as well and had to make some changes.
What does the Bible say about sex? The second half of your book talks about the things that I don't know where those are.
Yeah, the first half of the book is really about friendship, and we think that friendship is the foundation to marriage. And then the second half of the book is about sex in the context of a loving friendship. And the Bible does have quite a bit to say about sex, especially a whole book called the Song of Songs. And so I'm a Bible teacher, but it's in there. Most people haven't read it or they missed that part.
Well, let's get to the sex.
All right.
Okay. Because I just got married, and and I love the book. I'm reading it, and there's a chapter in there called "Can We," which is a lot of questions about are different sex practices biblical or not. One of the things you talk about is oral sex, masturbation, like Barbara brought up. Do you see that as godly? That can be practiced or sinful?
Yeah, we talk about things that couples may do according to the Bible, but not things they must do. So it's like a menu. Here's the options that if you're a Bible-believing Christian, you and your spouse can, take from the menu whatever sounds good.
Godly or sinful? Masturbation?
The Bible doesn't say anything.
What do you think? What do you think?
Onanism in the Bible?
Okay, can I just follow up this question? Masturbation and oral sex, godly or sinful?
Within the context of marriage, it's not necessarily sinful.
Okay, well, because my husband and I, we did a role play. He was a salesman from... We did, he was a salesman from Cleveland coming in overnight on a conference. Ain't sold a darn thing in his life, but he was, but I just want to know. Okay, that's a sin. I didn't think it was a sin. I thought, we're both actors, and we had fun.
I don't want to be a referee in your bedroom with a striped shirt and a whistle, so, you guys figure it out.
Pornography, which you also deal with. And you say that pornography is sometimes in women's romance novels, even mainstream women's magazines, and they're sinful.
Does that go for television as well?
Any form of lust that is not toward your affection toward your marital spouse is a sin.
Any form of
Any
what?
form of lust for another person other than your spouse.
Fantasizing, sexual desiring. And we believe that pornography does a great damage to a marriage because it causes you to compare your spouse to someone, to become dissatisfied with them, maybe even impose on them to do things you've seen others do.
It brings other people into your bed.
I'm sorry, I just have to ask because you're talking a lot about being married now. So if you're widowed and you meet somebody and you don't want to get married again, are you saying that the widow should just, or the widower should just do without because God doesn't like it?
I worship a guy who died and rose as a virgin, so, you know, that example would be you can live a full, great life without being sexually active.
But
you like
so
that?
you're saying...
I got married for a reason and we have 5 kids, so obviously not.
But
you
if
know?
you're saying that, but if you got married for a reason, you have 5 kids, are you planning to have 55 more?
No, we're
Because you're
not.
going to have a nice long life, so how you gonna, you know, how's that work? Are you, I can't ask because we're out of time, I'm sorry.
No, maybe you can answer it real fast.
We know a lot of widows, actually, and single moms, and they are very happy. They have a relationship with Jesus. They're very happy serving other people, and they can be content. Do they desire to have sexual relations when they get married? If they get married again, yes, but they can be content without that.
You can see why this is a very controversial book. Some people say that you're using, the Lord's name and sex to sell books. Yeah, but in the meantime, we thank you, Mark and Grace, for being here and answering our questions. And everyone in this audience is getting a copy of this book. You can get